Okay, everybody, how you guys doing tonight? This is Jeremy Barnett coming at you live from Tampa, Florida. Hello. And in the chat box, if you guys can, let me know if you can see me okay. And awesome. Well, guys, we got another, another packed out house tonight, Tuesday night here, 9 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to get right into the information. Sorry about that. I got a little chest cold. But what you guys are here and what you're about to experience tonight is what myself and many other leaders and many people have never really seen before. We've never been able to get our hands on an opportunity like this, and I'm just so excited to share with you the information that we have tonight about two colossal industries that are merging and creating a third industry that's the world's fastest growing, and now you get the chance to be a part of something absolutely huge and monumental. Again, this is Jeremy Barnett, and we're getting started here in just a few more seconds as we got a bunch of people piling in here. I want to make sure that everybody can get on here. Awesome. Thank you, Jenny. Appreciate that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and share the screen here. All right. Now, so why are you here? Why is everybody so excited? Well, something is occurring in the world that's never occurred before. What I'm going to share with you is nothing short of a phenomenon. And the definition of a phenomenon is the following. It's an unusual, significant, and remarkable occurrence. But what you're going to discover in the next few minutes is not only a remarkable occurrence, but a truly monumental one, as I said before. Now, why do I say that? Because it's something that has never happened before. The converging of two massive industries that has created a third industry, which is now the world's fastest growing. So let's start with the two massive industries that are converging. The first one is the mobile phone industry, and the second one is the advertising industry. Now, let's talk about the massive mobile phone industry, but I want to put everything into a global context first to give you a global perspective of how mobile phones compare to everything else in our lives. Now, we're 7 billion people on the planet, and here's what we call ours. We have 1 billion cars registered and in use, 1.1 billion fixed landline phones, 1.2 billion personal computers, desktops, laptops, and tablets, 1.6 billion television sets, 1.7 billion credit card users, 2.1 billion internet users, and 2.2 billion people with bank accounts. And most people are somewhat surprised to hear that there's still 3.9 billion radio receivers in use around the world today. See, mobile phones literally dwarfs them all. Now, there's currently 6.58 billion active subscribers, and that's equivalent to 94% of the population. That's 5.5 times more mobile phones than computers, 4 times more mobile phones than all the televisions worldwide, 4 times more mobile phones than people with credit cards. Mobile is massive. It's so massive that it passed $1 trillion a year back in 2010 and is now approaching $2 trillion a year. Okay, so let's move on to the second industry real quick, which is another monster, the advertising industry. Now, advertising started in the old days on the radio, then it shifted to the TV for years and all the eyes were glued to the tube. Then it exploded on the internet and all the eyes followed. First on desktops, then laptops, and now mobile phones. See, today, the majority of us spend most of our time using mobile phones for the internet right in the palm of our hands. So the $1.7 trillion advertising industry is rocketing directly towards the nearly $2 trillion mobile phone industry. Why? Simple answer, because the average person looks at their mobile phone 150 times a day, and that's where all our eyes are today. Okay, so these two colossal industries are on a head-on collision right now, and nothing is going to stop this from happening. But the collision created a third industry and is now the world's fastest growing, and that's the mobile app industry. See, mobile apps are the key, the bridge and the gateway that connects these two giants, the mobile phones and the advertising industry. Now, mobile apps, a tiny industry by comparison, only 30 billion, but that's really incredible because it's just a baby. See, mobile apps only began in 2010 when Apple started the craze by introducing iPhone apps. But that was only the beginning of the explosion. See, we measure the growth of the app industry not by subscribers, but by downloads. In 2010, when even Apple was shocked when 10 billion apps were downloaded in the first year, and then 2 years later in 2012, 30 billion apps were downloaded, and some experts were wondering if it had actually peaked, but it had not. Last year, in 2013, it reached 73 billion downloads, and this year it will reach over 119 billion downloads for the year. And in about 18 months, get ready for this, almost 300 billion apps will be downloaded. That's 800 million apps per day, or more than 500,000 per second. So it's going to grow from 10 billion downloads 4 years ago to 300 billion downloads in the next year and a half. That's 30 times growth. It's insane. Just absolutely massive. So folks, you don't have to be a CEO to understand those numbers. So where do you and I fit in this grand design? Well, let me tell you. Let's start off by asking you a couple of simple questions. Is it fair to say that any and all businesses would like to generate more sales from their existing customers and acquire new customers in order to generate more revenue? Well, of course they would. More sales equals more profit. Now the question becomes, how do business owners generate more sales and get new customers? Well, they just simply need to advertise more, plain and simple. But the challenge is this. The majority of businesses simply cannot afford to advertise more. It's just not in their daily budget. All right. So we've pretty much defined the desires and the challenges for the majority of business owners in today's global economy. They want to generate more sales from their existing customers, acquire new customers, and they basically cannot afford to advertise more. All right, so let's move on to the next part of the storyline. Do you believe the majority of consumers are interested in saving as much money as they possibly can? And the answer to that is an obvious yes. And how do we know this to be true? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the exploding coupon savings programs that have popped up over the last several years and happen to be helping lots of people save lots and lots of their hard-earned money. Companies like Living Social, Groupon, 50 million users on Groupon, Foursquare, 50 million users, Retail Me Not, 46 million users. So, in a quick and final recap, all businesses want to do more sales with their existing customers. They want new customers. They basically cannot afford to advertise more. And the bottom line is people love saving money, period. Right? Well, remember, we know that all the eyeballs around the world today are looking at their mobile phones 150 times a day, right? We touched on that a couple times. It's very important that you understand that, because now what I'm going to do is tie everything together on why you're actually here watching this webinar. Okay? We are bizbiz.mobi, and over the last 2 years, we've developed the first advertising, communication, and proximity mobile app of its kind anywhere in the world. Welcome to UBiz, the mobile app that provides solutions for consumers in those small, medium, and larger businesses that are owned by our family and friends, and that happen to represent 90% of the global economy. See, UBiz becomes the gateway for 90% of commerce worldwide and will grow virally with tens of millions of free members worldwide. Now, how is this possible? Because it does 3 great things to start. Number 1, it helps people save money. And number 2, it empowers your favorite merchants to communicate with you wherever you are in the world. And this is a great thing for merchants because they don't have to send out an email only to find out that you didn't get it because it was in the spam box. If everybody's looking at their phone 150 times a day, guess where you think the merchants and the advertisers want to be targeting their marketing? They want to be targeting it to where all the eyeballs are, right? And if this application allows a merchant to do that, then this is the greatest advertising platform that the world's ever seen, right? So you're looking at something very special, okay, just based on facts. Now, number 3, Using the highly sophisticated geo-targeting proximity technology, it creates brand new customers for the merchants by connecting them with all the free members traveling in their area. Okay? Now, as you can see, what happens here is when anyone that has the UBiz app travels within a 10-kilometer or 6.2-mile radius of the merchant, they will get pinged with discounts, special offers or promos, photos, or whatever the merchant is advertising at the moment. In this example, it allows the merchant to target a whole new group of consumers in their area. No one else offers that functionality. Let's take a look at this slide because it'll really drive it home for you. Boston's Pizzas. So they're running a 2-for-1 special from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. today only, right? Now here's the people walking in a 6.2-mile radius. And imagine that they have the UBiz application on their smartphones, all right? So Boston's Pizza goes onto the UBiz application advertising platform. They send out an advertisement that they're having a 2-for-1 special on pepperoni pizza from 11 to 2. Bam. All the people walking in the radius get the notification, and guess what? They got it because it's on their smartphone. Didn't go to no spam notification on their phone, just like a Facebook notification. Everybody checks that stuff. It's just built into our DNA today, right? So guess what happened? Well, the customers got a great deal because 10% of them or so were hungry for pizza and they wanted to try out a new place. Boston's Pizza just acquired brand new customers on this new advertising platform. And you're not going to believe how inexpensive it is for a merchant to be able to do this. Now, obviously it's a free download for members, and we just wanted to cover the first 3 main features of the application, but let's go ahead and run through the other ones just so you understand how powerful this is. We talked about GPS proximity technology. All members have access to discounts, benefits, and events near them in real time. It allows them to share information, make recommendations, and invite their friends to the shared collective experience live. Now, it's permanent visibility, so the promotions are always visible to members at all times, and the member and or you, the consumer, can choose whether you want to turn on the notifications or off depending on what you're doing at the time. Okay, so if you're in an area where you're looking for some food, or you're looking to get a good deal on a haircut, or looking to get a good deal on your brakes, you can go ahead and turn that on and find out what's going on in your local area based on the local merchants. And this is what's so cool, because you're getting advertisements from local merchants in your community, okay? So you're supporting your local merchants, which is great. The mom and pop shops, which make up 90% of the global economy. This is very powerful, okay? Advertising in real time. Optimization scheduling. Contact. We talked about this. You get to avoid the spam hurdles and the promotional folders that email campaigns have to contend with. None of that stuff. That's really huge. Targeted marketing allows you to publish advertisements for each point of sale, pushing area-specific communications targeted to individual groups. Okay, so you can build and compile different lists based on people's likes and interests on the application. Now, members will receive your unique ads, resulting in attracting an entirely new local market. So, by the way, which happens to be make the state-of-the-art application. So, real quick, before I get ahead of myself, what does the state-of-the-art application cost a merchant, you might be wondering, or who would otherwise need to have a 6-figure advertising budget? $30. Not per day, not per week, and not even per month. $30 per year is an 8 cents a day, which happens to make UBiz the most cost-effective form of advertising in the history of the $1.7 trillion advertising industry. Again, for only 8 pennies a day. Now, folks, when you have a service that millions and millions of people worldwide will demand and use every day, then you've positioned yourself in the right place at the perfect time to take advantage of the trillion-dollar shift to wealth. Now, guys, understand, we don't want you to miss out on the next huge paradigm, the blending of these mega industries, the mobile phones, the advertising, and the mobile app industries. So I think it's really important for you guys to understand that we are in an absolute beginning stage of something very special here, which leads us to a very critical point for you: timing and positioning. Timing and positioning has played a major part in many successful people's lives, including the lives of many millionaires and even billionaires. So hopefully you recognize this is a huge play for you. Now, as we are in our pre-launch phase, which is the timeline before we officially go live and launch BizBiz.mobi into 123 countries around the world in December of 2014. Yes, that's into 123 countries. And the best part is you have the rare and unique opportunity to be one of the first members to join and secure your secure your financial position in the BizBiz.mobi corporate structure. Now, I want to encourage you to get back to the person that invited you to this webinar presentation and find out how simple it is to lock down your position right now. Discover the lucrative compensation available through our dual team structure. You only got to get 2. Then teach them to get 2. It's very simple, and I don't know of any business that you can start of this magnitude for $145 one time and $35 repeating every month. It's absolutely a breath of fresh air. This is something fresh and new. You need to take advantage of it because this is the beginning, and you know what happens in the beginning. If you get involved in the beginning, then we are the ones that reap the massive reward as the world finds out about it. All right? Last but not least, get your BizBiz.mobi business off to a fast start by going to mobi-global.com. Get plugged in. We're going to have amazing trainings, weekly events, and we do 4 webinars a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every night at 9 o'clock. So if you are watching this webinar right now and you're saying, I'm ready to get started, guess what? You can now start plugging people into our amazing Mobi app global team system and get people plugged in. It's phenomenal. Now, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch the presentation, and I look forward to helping you take your business all around the world. Welcome to our amazing team of global entrepreneurs. BizBiz.mobi, we're global, we're mobile, and we're going viral. And with that, I want to thank everybody for watching the presentation tonight. Take care. Get back with the person that brought you to the webinar. Be on tomorrow night at 9 o'clock p.m. It's going to be awesome. We'll see you then. Thank you again. Jeremy Barnett here signing off.